What's up, everybody? It is September the 21st, last day of summer. Things are cooling off and I'm getting excited. My favorite two things are coming up: trapping season and bow season. I love both of them, and sometimes I can't decide which one I want to do more, but I just love both of them. I love this time of year. Things are cooling off and I love it. So I'm just going to do a quick video showing some of the stuff I got going on with beekeeping, bow hunting, and trapping. But then I'm going to do a sort of like a shout out video to a guy. He's a fabricator and he's making a lot of trapline tools and equipment to use, and he's starting to sell some of this stuff. So I met him the other day. He made me a stake driver and gave me an extra little gift on the side. So I'm going to show you some of that stuff as well. So let's check some of this stuff out. My bees are finally making some excess honey. I think I'll be able to get some this year. I've struggled with my beekeeping, not with the actual bees, but them making honey. I don't know, I didn't get a lot of honey production this year, but I hopefully get some fall honey. Been practicing with my bow quite a bit. I've been shooting nothing but broadheads lately. I just shoot one arrow at a time so I don't damage a bunch of arrows. I was on Boxy's live stream the other night. We were talking about releases and stuff, and I like using back tensions or hinge style releases, but this one is just working the best for me right now, and whatever's working the best, that's what I'm going to be using. So this into the old trapping shed, slowly getting things cleaned up and ready to go. Got my cooler ready for a deer to be hanging in it. Hopefully I need some deer meat. Get all my trapping gear ready. A lot of my stake drivers and stuff, I've lost some equipment last year, so this is something I'm doing, painting stuff a real bright color, whatever I got. I had some bright yellow. My stake drivers, I know I lost at least a stake driver, maybe a trowel last year. I gotta paint some of this stuff. Even my hammers, I painted bright yellow. Oh, what else I got going on? Oh, I bought myself an actual pair of good gauntlets this year. If I'm blessed enough to go out beaver trapping again. I can't remember, I think they're called redneck gauntlets. I think I got them from Amazon, actually. With the best price I found. They were fairly cheap on there. All right, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the new stuff I got going on, which will lead into giving this guy a shout out here. I made a few of my own like caster based lures. I actually got a couple of these out with trail cameras on them right now. I don't know if they'll work or not, but I just messed around. I got one with just, this is about 50 to 60% castor and lanolin oil. I mean, I know if nothing else, it'll definitely work for beaver trapping. I just want to see if canines or anything have a reaction to it. I got some that I have castor and vanilla and liquid smoke, and then some with just castor and vanilla. I'm going to check them out with trail cameras, see how they go. Okay, for cable restraint season, one thing I'm definitely going to be doing is using this method that Rich Fowler showed with this like double hook with the support wire. This goes in the ground. You can put this into fairly soft ground pretty easily, or into the stake hole after you drive your stake in. This goes in the ground, and then this goes in and stops it, and it's an extra anchor and it keeps it from twisting and stuff. It's a really sturdy way to put your wire in. I have all of my wires, my support wires now, from here to the end point, all standardized, 28 inches for coyotes and 18 inches for fox. That's what Fowler recommended, so I'm trying to make everything standardized and quicker. I made this bar here specifically to put in that support wire. I made it 3 feet long so I can do it from a standing position. I just ground a small slot in the end here to hook the wire into. It seems to work extremely well. So there's a guy on Trapper Man that always showed a lot of his products and stuff that he was welding up, and I initially thought that he was just making all this stuff for himself. So I asked him if he could make a stake driver. Here he's making his stuff and selling it. So I wanted a stake driver for Fox Hollow Super Stakes that is 3 feet long. He made me one up, put a T-handle on it. He hardened the steel. My goal is to be able to set my cables from mostly a standing position and not disturb the trail as much as I do when I have to get down on my hands and knees to do stuff. So if I can do it all from standing, that'll be cool. This will serve another purpose for me. Once you catch an animal in a cable restraint, if you've ever done that, it can be hard to wrangle that sucker up. I'll be able to drive this thing in the catch circle and leave like a foot or so sticking out, and then the animal will can tangle itself up onto here, and I can take care of it from there. It'll just pin the animal down a lot better. So this is going to serve two purposes for me. He also brought me and gave me one of his drags that he makes. I already attached about 10 feet of chain onto here. I got like 9 feet of chain and a swivel. Then I'll just attach a trap here so they'll have tons of swiveling points on it. This is probably his higher end drag that he makes. I guess I'll show you his little flyer here in a minute. And I'm going to put as many links as I can in the description. His like email, and he has a YouTube channel where he shows making some of these products. I think he said it's 3.5 pounds. It's a chunky drag. It's not real huge, but you can just tell it. I think it's going to be really effective. And I already told him I want a dozen of these. These are $100 a dozen, which is competitive. When you look at other supply places, they're like $110 or something. $109 for an upper end drag for a dozen of them. So these are really competitive, super well built. He said some guys were concerned that this 1/4-inch steel would bend. I don't think a dinosaur could bend that thing. This is 1/2 inch by 1 inch steel, heavy, sturdy. It's an awesome looking drag, really. So I want a dozen of those. I'll show you some of the other products he's got going on here. Anyways, he makes 3 styles of drags, like the one I just showed you. That's like his top line drag, $100 a dozen. These round stock drags, they're built almost identical to these, but they have a piece of round stock here instead of those triangle wedges. And then he makes a rebar drag too. I think he said these were $95 a dozen, and I can't remember if he told me the price of these. He also makes a lot of drowner stuff for beavers. He loves beaver trapping. A lot of anchoring stuff, stake drivers, chain stakes. He's also making, these are wolf fangs with number 3 chain. That's heavy duty. This is only, I got number 2 chain here, which is pretty heavy, but he's using number 3 chain on his wolf fang stakes. But I talked to him, and he's actually starting to make some Fox Hollow super stakes as well, and he's going to be making Fox Hollow drivers. He's also going to be making drivers out of this type of stock as well. This is like hexagonal. I don't know if I said that right or not, but he said it's the same type of stuff they make crowbars out of. I got this one from Minnesota Trapline a few years ago. I have beat the daylights out of this thing. This is really tough, so he'll be making drivers out of that stuff too. So that's about it for this video. If you are in the market for any stake drivers, stakes, drags, other equipment, maybe something if you wanted custom made, a longer stake driver like I had made, give this guy a look, especially if you're from Pennsylvania. If you're anywhere near Weedville, you could probably just go there and pick it up, save shipping. If you're from outside of PA, you might want to contact him first and check on the actual shipping. Guy definitely makes some quality products, so give this guy a look, and I'm sure he'd appreciate it, just as I appreciate all of you watching my channel. Thank you, and I hope y'all have a blessed day and have a blessed fall coming up, everybody. Thanks again.